Well, hello and welcome back, and thanks for coming back. Where are we? Well, we've just gone under the Paphos Skywalk and we are heading down to paradise. Yeah, we're going down to the Paphos harbour area, somewhere that has a special place in my heart, and I'm pretty sure that most of you love the downtown promenade and harbour area. Now, if you're curious to understand that Marika is still in Tbilisi, Georgia, but she'll be coming back very, very soon, and she's come to terms with what happened over the New Year. You know, New Year's Eve, we had a bit of a kick in the teeth when Edward unfortunately passed away, and the complexities of him not dying in his home country, Georgia, and unfortunately dying in Russia, but all that's been taken care of, and he has been laid to rest, as you know, and sent off on his travels. We wish him all the rest in the world now, and we look forward to seeing him in another life, which we hope doesn't come too soon for Marika and myself, but we know it's coming, shall we say. It's one of those realities of life. Anyway, for those of you who are curious to know, does Mr. Paul enjoy driving around? Yeah, he does. It's something that I've always done, and I'm probably responsible for more CO2 emissions in the world than probably EasyJet and Jet2 combined together. So, you know, if you're sitting there now contemplating coming down to downtown Paphos on a big bird and you're thinking, oh my God, you know, I don't want to put those CO2s up into the atmosphere and destroy the planet, don't worry about it, because you'll be fine. Mr. Paul has caused more damage to the planet driving around than you could possibly do. So just hit that like, click it, and book it. Get yourself on the big bird, get yourself down to paradise, get yourself down to the harbour area, go and wine and dine yourself in some of the great restaurants like Gil Alamo, the Cellar of the Castle, the King's, and even Theo's. You know, we haven't got anything against Theo's, by the way. It's just that Theo's for some reason decided to fall out of love with us. You never know, maybe they'll come back on board this year. In the daytime, you know, we shake hands and chat with Mr. Stefan and you know, Mr. Andreas. We mean you no harm. You know, if you want to come back and shake hands, it's no problem with us. We don't know what we actually ever did to you, and I don't think we ever did anything. But anyway, back to CO2s. Mr. Paul does like to drive around. It's something I've always done. Marika, my partner in crime, says to me, don't you ever care about the price of benzene? No, I don't. At the end of the day, I am fortunate enough throughout my life, to my chaotic life, it has been chaotic, by the way, to be able to afford to put petrol, or as I call it now, benzene, in the tank, and I always will. I always complain about the price of it. Well, I don't actually. When it was €2 a litre, I didn't complain, I just kept filling it. Simple. Because it's something I do. I drive around a lot for work. I have to go and see customers and price jobs. I have to go and get parts. And on top of all of that, I like to drive to every coffee shop in the world. And on top of that, I just like to drive. As Marika knows, you know, now and again we do have an argument, a falling out over something. We don't really start shouting at each other. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm the kind of guy who says, right, that's it, I'm off, and I go out, get into my car, and then I drive, and I gather my thoughts, and guess what, even when I'm not talking to you guys, I talk to myself, because, yeah, I am insane. I've been told by many people, you're nuts, you're crazy. My father used to tell me I'm a nutcase, and yeah, I am. I'm the first to admit it. I am completely and utterly bonkers. And I always have been, and I always will be. I always intend to be a young little child. I always intend to be spoilt. I remember having a conversation with a chappie on the Commons once. He didn't get it that you know, we were getting thrown out of hotels, and he started telling me that, you know, I'm an idiot for walking into a hotel with a camera, and, you know, I'm a spoilt this and I'm a spoilt that. And I agree with him. Yeah, I'm spoilt. So there you go. Don't wish him any harm, and don't wish him any bad wishes whatsoever. For some reason, he came on the channel and wanted to tell us that we're idiots, and obviously he can do it so much better. And I understand there's a lot of people who watch the channel and think I'm an idiot, and I am. I'm the first to admit it, so you haven't got to tell me. And if you believe you can do what we do better, please get yourself a camera and please go and do it. And you let us know the channel name, we'll watch you and we'll give you constructive criticism. In fact, we won't give you any criticism at all. It's not my style. I've never put a bad comment on anyone's channel, even when I've understood that what I've just watched is absolute Sherlock Holmes. And if you don't watch the channel enough to know what that word means, or those two words mean, it means S-H-I-T. So like I say, no matter how bad a video you make, how much you stutter and stumble through your grammar, you won't get a bad comment off me. Even if you've made one to me, I'm not that kind of guy. I don't care. I wish well to everybody, and I do. I truly, truly do. It's not something I just say. You have to go out of your way to upset me, not the other way around. I don't try to upset anyone. Well, you watch me driving for a start. I can drive like the craziest person in the world, but I promise you, I would not scare you. As Marika knows, she sat in the passenger seat, and as I say, if you want to learn how to drive, I'll show you how to drive. And I'm not just blowing my own trumpet. If you want to learn how to drive, get in the passenger seat and I'll show you how to drive. If you want to show me how to drive in a car, I promise you, you won't. I don't care what car it is. I'll drive this old girl. You get yourself in a Ferrari and let's have a race from Paphos to Coral Bay, and you won't beat me. You might wrap yourself around a lamppost, but you won't beat me. I promise you that. Anyway, that's the rant over. That's my insanity over. Again, there you go. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching me. Thanks for watching my insanity. I'm looking over the right shoulder. Alan, flick the machine on. Here we go. Let's go for a bit of a wiggle and a bit of a waggle in and around certain streets of Paphos. We're going the wrong way, as you may have noticed, from Paradise. We're going up towards the, well, Debenhams roundabout. That's where we're going to go. So we're going to go straight over here and we're going to go up. So yeah, it's not a road you've been on before, because you always come the other way with us. Normally we're going down to Paradise. This time we're going away from Paradise. This time we're going to go home. So there we are. Let's take you all the way up through Paphos from Paradise and go towards Armu, because that's where we live. So if you're looking for us, you'll find us. Apparently I remember bumped into some people on the harbour in the summer, and I remember Trevor telling me, yeah, I remember you. I remember Trevor telling me that his partner in crime and her sister, Auntie, have rewound the videos so they understand exactly where we live, and she's going to come and stalk us. And it had me in stitches. It really, really did. Made me laugh. Or as Marika would say, pissing on my own self. There we go. What can I say? It makes me laugh. Anyway, Miss Justine, the comment you made last night, I mean, you had me in stitches. For the last 2 nights now, you've had me in stitches with your comments, Miss Justine. And I know my Gumbara number 1, Mr. Andy's sitting there helping you write them in agony one, and I start laughing out loud. I really do. You were talking last night about the Steel Horse. Well, it's an E-Class Mercedes, and how Marika on about a beer and a balconies, and I cracked up. I really, really did. So please keep up with these comments, please, because as you understand, at this time we are in a bit of a what's the words? We're in a bit of a dark spot. Most people enter the new year with all happiness and great expectations, but unfortunately we entered the new year with a great loss, shall we say. I know that was never Edward's intent. I understand that, and I understand he never intended to make the job that bit more complicated for us by dying in Russia, and making his daughter Marika's job that much harder for the repatriation and all the worry and the concerns. And I understand he didn't intend to make my bill that bigger. You know, it's just my joke. When we meet in the next life, Edward, I'm going to tap you up for a couple of bob, that's for sure. Anyway, on with the video. Where are we? Well, we're rapidly approaching what we will call the Debenhams roundabout. And the reason for that is because over there where it says next and ERA, that used to be Debenhams, and it was Debenhams for a very, very long time indeed. If you go left here, you would go into the main mid-Paphos, as we call it, and go past the Macarius statue, past the former governor's residence, and out and into where the Gumbaru number 1 hangs out. And most mornings you'll find his black Mercedes parked on the double yellow lines, because he doesn't want to have to park in a car park, obviously. Perhaps you can't work out the smart app. That's what I've just realised. He's installed smartness everywhere in the city, and you can't use cash to pay anymore. You have to use a smart app. But I've just realised that, yeah, he's probably like me. He's about the same age as me, so he probably doesn't know how to work the smart app to pay for parking. So he parks on W lines outside his office and tells the Gumbarus on the mopeds to bugger off. That's my car. Don't you dare put a ticket on that. Go and find Mr. Paul's. It's the same, but in like a funny bronze colour. Go and put a ticket on his car. He's got plenty of money. That's what he probably says. So, but luckily for me, I don't park in silly places. Well, I do park in silly places actually, but I don't leave it for long, and I keep watching out for those Gumbarus on the little mopeds. And when I hear it whizzing up, I quickly put the latte down and run outside and say, sorry, jump in the car and drive off. Go around the block, park up and go back in and get my latte. There you go. Cyprus, very, very lax indeed. See? You're wondering, what are you listening to? You're thinking, I come on to watch this video of a man driving around Paphos. When is he ever going to shut up? Well, I don't. I just keep talking absolute rubbish. And like I say, I'm adding that little bit to the, removing that little bit to the ozone layer as I do it. And you know what, Dawn? It's gone a bit cold. 19 degrees outside, so of course the car's not getting heated up. So I'm going to turn my aircon up that little bit to 20, because even I have a t-shirt by the way, but even I am feeling there's a bit of a nip in the air. So just to upset your breakfast for you, bon appetit. Are you having bacon and eggs, by the way? You're going to make me jealous in a minute, aren't you? Or are you on cornflakes or Weetabix? I like Weetabix, by the way. I do like a bit of Weetabix. 1.5 Weetabixes, because I can't handle 2. I'm not that strong. 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. Give it a good stir. Let it all go all soggy and yummy. Or if you're having bacon and eggs, chuck some mushrooms on as well, because I do like a mushroom. Keep the beans. I'm not bothered about the beans. Bacon and eggs. I'll have 2 strips of bacon. Yeah, 2 strips of bacon. Unless they're small, then I'll have 3. And I'll have 2 eggs. And I'll have a couple of sausages and a ruck of mushrooms. There you go. And a piece of toast. And a cup of tea. And some butter or margarine, not too choosy. And some marmalade. I was going to say strawberry, but no marmalade. I like to have marmalade. My grandfather used to have marmalade on his toast, and then he used to use some marmalade that's wiggling around here. They're all waiting to get into that lane. So there you go. Funny time of day when people are going home. Well, not people. These are mostly government employees. You know, the ones who earn more than anyone else and work much less. Those people. There you go. That's the rant over. So, as I was saying, lost my train of thought there for a second. My grandfather used to have every day for breakfast, every single day of his life he had for breakfast, he would have 3 rations of bacon, 2 eggs, 2 sausages, and they had to be Wall's sausages, if you remember, in the olden days, pork sausages, and he liked them. And then he used to have 3 or 4 mushrooms, and they had to be fresh mushrooms. He didn't want those silly button mushrooms out of a tin. No. Had to have proper mushrooms. And then he'd have 2 pieces of toast and some marmalade, and then he would put marmalade onto his plate as well, and he would then have a little piece of sausage, a bit of bacon and marmalade, and a little bit of mushroom, and then put a bit of marmalade on, like I said, and that's where that comes from. So that's something I used to watch him doing when I was a young boy, and it's something that I used to copy, and it stuck with me. Can't eat a breakfast without marmalade and a piece of toast. And my grandfather, if you're wondering, was a hero of mine, absolute superstar amongst superstars. His name was Tudor Jones, and my grandmother's name was May Jones, so she said it was quite simple when they got married. She was just a Jones. And, if you're wondering what he was a Rolls-Royce trained engineer. He was a farmer's son, and luckily that farmer was a wealthy farmer. And my grandfather wanted to be a mechanic, so my great-grandfather, in his great wisdom, decided to send him on his travels, and he went to Crewe, and he stayed in digs in Crewe, and eventually got married, and my grandmother stayed there with him as well, apparently, for a couple of years. Anyway, did an apprenticeship. Lose my English. Marika still my English. Did an apprenticeship with Rolls-Royce in Crewe, and passed. And spent a year or so afterwards, but decided it wasn't for him. So he came back to North Wales and got a job in a garage as a mechanic. And to cut a long story short, that owner of that garage and him got on very well. A few years later, that guy died, and believe it or not, he bequeathed half of the business to my grandfather. So I think there was a lot of hard work involved and a lot of luck, as you can see as well. So that's a bit of my grandfather's story. So as time goes on, maybe I'll elaborate and share more of him, because I'll never forget him till the day I die. And he was a star, an absolute superstar. My father was a good man as well. So I come from good stock, but unfortunately I'm the idiot. So there we go. But you never know, maybe you'll come to love me for my stupidities and the silly things that I do, but hopefully you'll love me because of the way I look after Marika. There we are. A lot of people do understand that I love Marika very, very dearly indeed. I've made many mistakes in my life. There has been 5 previous relationships, and most of them lasted 2 to 3 years, 5 years, 15 years in one case. And I loved those ladies in my life truly. I truly, really did. But unfortunately, they came to an end. In most cases, they took them to the end themselves, if you understand me. So there you go. So I'm not a bad guy, and as Marika understands, if I set them all down, and I truly believe this, and I actually understand that one of them, by the way, is watching. There you go. Big shout out to you, Marion. And I'm sorry that I broke your heart. I am. I hope you've recovered. And anyway, there you go. So I've been open and honest with you. Alan's kicking back on the treadmill. I can't say treadmill. He's on the treadmill beside me, and he's thinking, "Guy's opening up again." Yeah. So when you come on the Travels with Paul, you're going to find that I open up a little bit and tell you some of the troubles, some of the problems, perhaps that I've had in life, and perhaps that I have in life. My life hasn't been perfect, but I've had a fabulous life, and I really have. From the very, very start of my life, I have had a fabulous, fabulous life. My father was a fabulous man who managed to earn enough money to send me to some of the best schools in the UK. So I should have come out as a professor like Marika, but I didn't. I just came out as an idiot. But I had a very, very good time when I was there. And through the grace of God and through luck, I have had a great life since then as well. I have stumbled along through life, but luckily I've always managed to earn enough money to buy cars and to keep the ladies in my life to a certain standard. And I've never ever had to ask them for their money. I mean, they've loaned me money in the past, don't get me wrong, but I've always given it back. And there you go. Tear coming to my eye. But well, we're coming home. We've entered well, I don't know what this place is called. It's a strange place. If you take a left here at the kiosk, you go into Uptown Armu, and if you go right, you go to Marathonda. Here's our humble house coming up on the left hand side, and as you can see, there's no groupies outside. All there is a clapped out old car. So there we go, that's home. Humble abode, but we do have a spectacular view down towards the Mandrea airport. So if you're coming on a big bird, we can watch you land. And we also do have a spectacular view down to the Paphos promenade. And now we're wiggling and waggling, and we'll keep going for a little bit more, just to bore you that bit more, and we'll go up to Memphis Hills. Okay, so that's where we're going to go, and that's where the video is going to finish. And Memphis Hills is a luxury golf resort, hotel and spa, and then their great wisdom they've built at the moment about 100 multi-million villas, multi-million euro villas that is. And the plan is to build about 500. So some of those will be available to rent when you come on golfing holidays, and some of them will be sold to multi-millionaires. And there are a few living up there, we know that, because they come past our humble house in their big Mercedes and their Bentleys and Rolls Royces even. Yep, there's a man in a Rolls Royce up there, there's a man with a Bentley up there, there's a gentleman with a big AMG Mercedes, beautiful car, beautiful car. He's got a Range Rover and he's also got a Ferrari. Although I haven't seen that recently, I wonder if he's seen sense and got rid of it. But he's also got a Maserati as well. So he's obviously got a couple of bob, obviously. He obviously either worked very hard or inherited very well, or is a very, very good thief. Whichever, he seems to be quite a nice guy. And to be honest, he doesn't drive very fast. He does seem to have respect for other people on the road. So one day, you never know, I might get to steal one of his cars, and one day I might get to blast down the road in his AMG or his Maserati. You never know. We have got a couple of customers up there. There's a Vietnamese gentleman. He's got quite a nice Audi A8. We fixed that, and we fixed his daughters. I don't think her name is George. Maybe her name's Georgina. I don't know. But we fixed her Peugeot, and he said once she passes her test, he's going to buy her something that little bit better. So perhaps that's that new Range Rover that's been going past recently, because he's certainly got a couple of bob, because the villa he lives in is worth about 3 million. So there you go. I sound jealous. I'm not jealous. So don't wish any harm to anybody. I really don't. I'm quite happy with my life, quite happy with what I earn, and quite happy that I've got with me the most beautiful woman in the world, and her name is Marika, or as I call her, Miss Archin, with Sylvia Labeouf. Very, very beautiful love. And I'll be with her till the day I die. And I understand that lots of you would like that to have been yesterday. But unfortunately for you, it's not. So keep walking, Alan. Keep walking. Come on, or maybe you're jogging now. You never know. Perhaps you should get one of those bike things and start pedaling, because I always want to say keep pedaling. And I thank all of our new people who have joined us. I have noticed that one or two have joined on the driving videos, so I presume either you're absolutely stupid or as insane as me, or perhaps I'm bringing something into your lives. I don't know. If I am, I truly am humbled, and I truly thank you. And thanks for joining me. I'll let the video continue. We're in Memphis Hills. We're going to drive into the main reception of the golf place, and that's where the video will end. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the like, click subscribe, and why not come back for a little bit more of my insanity. And if you really want to watch me drive around that little bit more, please click through to the About page, where you will find the Buy Me a Coffee icon, and you could contemplate on creating more and more insanity in your life by hitting that little button and buying me a coffee. Thanks very much. See you in the next one. idiot born every day. Thanks for watching.